Hi, folks. So, we're going to be talking about transitions today, transitions between sections in your song, because transitions help the dynamic journey of the song. Transitions help make it feel more cohesive. Just to give you an example, here's the first transition in my track from A1 to B1. So there's quite a few things going on there. Firstly, you probably noticed the drum fill right about here. And notice where it sits. Usually, not always, but the drum fill is always at the end of a cycle. And by cycle, I'm talking about, an 8-bar section or a 4-bar section. And I personally like to put my drum fills in the final half a bar of the section. So you can see here 49, 50, 51, 52. It's a 4-bar section. And you can see very clearly that the drum fill falls in the last half a bar of this section. Also notice that something else that I did is that when you come out of the drum fill, you get a crash cymbal. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, a crash cymbal, it's part of a drum kit and it sounds like this. And transitions always sound better with a crash cymbal. For example, have a listen to this transition without the crash. Still works, but it's not nearly as effective as it could be with the crash. Similarly, down here, there's a riser, which you can find both these things by going to the loop library here. You can see already you type crash, and you get here crash cymbals, which are great. And similarly, if you type in riser, you get a lot of these whooshing kind of sounds. And the idea is that if you use a riser to put the end of the riser where it peaks right at the end of the transition or at the end of the cycle and the start of the new cycle. So you can see that this riser here happens right at the end of the drum fill and right before the crash cymbal. The next thing to notice is how I moved some of the loops that I had back half a bar at the end. So this is what it would have looked and sounded like before I did any of the work on it. Oops. What I'll do is I'll make a new track here and just put the drum fill there so we still have access to it so I don't lose it. I'll mute out the crash cymbal, mute out the riser, and this is what it would have sounded like before I added anything. So you can see in here, it's far less dramatic there, having none of those extra things. So anyway, I'll put the crash back, I'll put that drum fill back, and we'll have a closer look at the drum fill. Oh, it was also here, I think, and here, maybe here. I can't remember exactly. Anyway, let's zoom in on the drum fill. So I'll double click here. By the way, to open and close this window, you can also just push E, and I'm also going to push O to get rid of the loop library. Here's my drum fill right here. So you can see what it consists of is mostly snare drums and a few claps. Let's have a listen to it. Okay, so what's going on there? Well, the smallest you can naturally make it, the smallest, I guess, subdivision you could normally do on Garageband is 16th notes. So the way you might do this, you can see these are 16th notes. How did I do these 32nd notes? Let me just delete them and I'll show you. I use Command key to turn that into a drawing tool. It's a 16th note length, so I manually shorten it, and then I use the Option key to copy it over and to copy it over again. Now you probably also notice the velocity changes. So the way you get down to this screen here, well, when you normally, it looks like that. If you just click anywhere in there and push A, it'll open the velocity screen. If it doesn't show velocity here, then tick on velocity. And then you can, you could manually, you could manually reposition the notes like that. Here's another approach. Watch this. I'm just going to sort of reset all the velocities, right? See how they're all reset now at the bottom. It's all very quiet. Oh, it's still holding the shape. That's so interesting. Not sure why. To give it that shape, what you can do is hold the command key and draw a diagonal line like that, and it'll give it that shape, and then you can, as you can see, stretch it out more, and then you get that effect. Okay, let's have a look at another drum fill here. Here's another one. Check this one out. This one is all snares, and it's 30-second notes. And again, I've done that rising ramp thing here. Because another thing you might want to do instead of doing that, what I could do is introduce a new drum kit, a second track, a second lane with a different drum kit, and I'm going to go more traditional, like an organic sounding drum kit, like the Bluebird, an actual drum kit rather than a drum machine. And what I'm going to do here is right click, create MIDI region, just shorten it. I'll add it to the solo as well, and I'll create a drum fill. So this time what I'm going to go for is more of a, like the Phil Collins drum fill, do 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 do. And the way you do that is you look for the snare drum and the tom-toms on the drum kit. So here's the snare as we know. But listen to it, here's some toms. Oh, there we go. High tom, medium tom, low tom. And there's the snare. So what I'm going to do is I might use this snare, and I'll do 2 snares, 2 high tom, 2 medium, low tom. So just on 16th notes like this. So snare, I'll make it a bit louder. Snare, snare. I wonder why they're not all coming up loud. Snare, snare, tom, tom. I'll fix the volume of it later. Tom, 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 tom. Oh, those ones could be higher. There we go. So now, once I just adjust the volumes here, the velocities, there we go. Have a listen to what I've just done now. Simple, but kind of cool, right? And here it is in the context of the whole track. I'll press E and Y to get rid of those 2 screens. Here we go. Kind of effective. One of my favorite little transitions I've done in this track is down here. Instead of using drums, I've used a marimba with guitar pedals on it. Have a listen to this. Notes-wise, I think it's a G chord or something like that. Let's have a listen. And if you recall, to get into the effects, you push E. B. And to come down here, you got the plugins. If it's not open, just push the triangle to open the plugin. And you can see down here, I've set up a pedal board with some overdrive, which means distortion, delay, reverb, and a compressor. If I turn off that pedal board, here's what the marimba sounds like. It's a bit bland. It sounds like what you'd expect. It's a xylophone, but I turn on the pedal board. It's kind of cool. So there's a few ideas for transitions that you might want to use, and I hope you found that helpful.